Yo, what's the dealio, man? Listen, you already know I got a straight banger for you today, all right? So, no live today, but you guys know I already got you. I got you taken care of. I got you covered. We're going to go over the whole market. We're going to go over the whole outlook for this week. All right, y'all? So, with that being said, we're going to break down the outlook, what's going on, what you can expect, what my setups are, all of that good stuff. So we have a lot that we have to cover. So let's just get straight into it, all right? Now, this week we have a short week. We only have 4 days. We got Juneteenth on Friday, which is a federal holiday. So we're going to have Monday through Thursday, right? Now, nothing that I say in this video is financial advice. If you guys want financial advice, be sure to talk to a licensed financial advisor. Now, the first thing that we're going to sit here and break down and talk about is we have a short week. All right, y'all? We have a short week. Therefore, anytime there is a short week, it's always some buffoonery. It's always something crazy. It's always something crazy going on. So I want you guys to not get caught up in the short week's craziness. All right? Now, Monday, June 15th, right? Data report. This is the economic data calendar on MarketWatch. All right? Very important. What we got on Monday, we don't have too much. These don't really be affecting anything. We got import prices before market open. Wednesday, y'all. This is the biggest day right here. Y'all see this at 2 p.m.? This is an interest rate decision. Okay? This is an interest rate decision. The Fed has an interest rate decision. All right. So this week we're going to see if we drop interest rates, if we raise interest rates, or if we hold interest rates. All right. Then we got weekly jobless claims on Thursday. And then also, okay, what is Thursday, y'all? What is Thursday? It's the third Thursday of the month. Well, third Friday of the month. So what does that mean? That means that this Thursday is also OPEX. So we got OPEX the same day that we have FOMC, which is an interest rate decision. And we have a new Fed. This is their first one. So this is a lot going on this week, y'all. All right. I'm telling you this so that you don't end up getting cooked and clapped and grilled in the market this week. I'm really going to be real low key in the market this week. I'm going to wait at 30 minutes to 45 minutes. If I even do trade, I'm expecting volume to be low. I'm expecting manipulation to happen. And who knows? Certain moves might be priced in. But after this week, we are going to have a much clearer understanding of where the market is going to go and can go. All right. But what we also want to make sure is we don't want to bet against the buyers. All right. We know that Trump is all about making the market go up, and the stock market is designed to go up anyway. The stock market is designed to go up. So when the market comes down and you have stocks down by 10, 15% already, I wouldn't be too bearish on them, right? If we coming into areas where we got buyers, but you got to know where the buyers are at. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the indexes first. Y'all know we start with the indexes, and then we're going to go from there. All right. So first off, we're going to rock with SPY on the weekly and the daily. So this week we got SPY. I want y'all to pay attention to SPY on the weekly right here. When I'm looking at SPY, I see a 2-down candle, but we got buyers. Buyers push SPY up all the way from 722 all the way up to where? 741. They pushed SPY up $20 last week. Okay? As you can see right here, we got buyers. Okay? We got buyers. So honestly, when I'm looking at SPY, y'all, I'm looking for, and let's look at the daily time frame. As you can see, we came up. It looked like the market was going down, pushed that bad boy all the way up, right? Bear trap down here, bounce, and it goes up. So right here on a daily, We got this, and we got this, right? These are sellers. So we got sellers on the daily on SPY sitting between. We got sellers sitting between 745.46 and 751.72. All right. So that is almost a $30 range right there, right? It's almost a $30 range right there that they sitting at. No, my bad, that's $6 range. I'm looking at this last part. That's a $6 range right here, okay? So on a weekly, right, we got sellers right here at 748, okay? So with SPY, we're going to be bullish on SPY if we could get above 751.72, okay? So I'm going to say calls on SPY above 751.72. Okay? Calls above SPY, calls on SPY above 751.72. Now, if we get above 751.72, then we're going to come up and we're going to come up to 760, right? But we got to get above 745 to 751. That's your area of interest right here. All right? This is your area of interest right here. Okay? This area right here. 745 to 751 is going to be your area. If we don't get above 751.72, we coming back down. So I want you guys to pay attention to that area right there. Now on Friday, it wasn't the strongest day on SPY. It was a green day, but it wasn't the strongest day. And when you look at the 30-minute, right, we came down, we came up, we came down, and then we came back up a little bit, and then we tapered out, right? So that's what we got going on SPY, okay? So that's the game plan for SPY. Pay attention to 745.46 to 751.72 and see if we reject there or if we end up coming down or if we break through it, all right? And then we got IWM right here on the weekly. Let's look at this real quick. All right. Boom. We got a 3-bar. Okay. So small caps, you know, they look like they're doing their thing right now. So we got this 3-bar on the weekly. So what we're going to do is we're going to easily just sit here and say calls above 295.63, right? Calls above 295.63. Okay. Calls above 295.63, y'all. A bullish 3-bar, that's going to be a 3-2 setup if we do go, if we continue to go to the upside. All right, but let's look at the daily real quick. Y'all see we made a high right here. Seller stepped in right here. Okay, so your pullback area that I'm seeing is going to be about 289.59. So your pullback area is going to be 289.59. All right, y'all. So if we come down to 289.59 and then bounce, then that's going to be a pullback area right there. Now we could come back down to 279, but I don't know. We got to see how the market opens on Monday first, right? But always remember that on Wednesday, that's going to be the dictator of everything. So Monday, Tuesday is probably Monday might be an okay day, and then Tuesday might be a little bit, you know what I'm saying, slow volume, and then Wednesday is going to be low volume in the morning, and then we're going to have an interest rate decision, and after that we're going to see what's up. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing too much throughout the week. I'm going to just be chilling, and I'm going to just let the market show me what's going on. Okay, so that's going on right there. So that's IW, and that's the game plan. Calls above 295.63. Pullback area is 289 on a weekly. We're going to be looking to go 3-2, 2 up on a weekly. All right, now let me say this as well. Wednesday is FOMC. I said that. It's also OPEX, but what is it also? Zero data expiration. This is a recipe for disaster. This is a recipe for liquidity, y'all. All right? If you have been losing money, do not trade on Wednesday. I don't care how good the setup look. Don't do it because you will get clapped. You will get cooked. And then you're going to be sitting over there mad at yourself that you made a dumb decision when you couldn't just control yourself. All right? So on Wednesday, If you have already been losing money, Wednesday is not the day for you to try to make no money. Just stop. Stop. All right? Stop trying to make money on a day where you got OPEX, FOMC, and you got 0 day to expiration. That is not the environment for a trader who isn't making money to be trying to make money in. You need an easier environment, a calmer environment. Listen to what I'm saying to you. If you don't want to listen, you're going to end up being Charbroiled Charlie come the weekend. And then you're going to go into the end of the week mad at yourself, right? And then you're going to be like, dang. All right? So, that's SPY, that's IWM. Who else we got? QQQers. What we got? On the weekly time frame, on QQQ, what it's looking like. We got that failed to down right here. They did just what SPY did, right? But their candle looks a little bit better. So what we gonna do? First off, easy money. We gonna sit up here and we gonna say calls above 726.06. Calls above 726.06, y'all. All right. Failed to down on the weekly. I mean, we got a whopper alert right here. We might see QQQ go back up to 750, y'all. All right, that's a possibility. It's looking real strong on the weekly. But as you can see on the daily, we got sellers all the way up until the 750. Okay? So we got sellers starting at, starting at, 723. Okay? 723. All the way up to the order block and to resistance at 750. So we need a strong push for QQQ to just break through this right here. Now, what I will say is we came down, we tried to go back up, we rejected, we came back up, we rejected again, and we came back up here and we did not reject yet. So tomorrow, we're going to see if we reject or if we get some momentum and we break through where these sellers are at. We don't know what's about to happen. So tomorrow, honestly, I would be thinking about QQQ puts because we got a lot of sellers in here unless something miraculous happen and we just super strong and some crazy great news comes out and we just push through all of this and the whole market sentiment shifts. Outside of a market sentiment shift, I don't think QQQ is going to go up immediately. I think it's going to have a pullback first and then it could be a setup for a bounce to go back to the upside, but we got to see. Okay? But on QQQ, failed to down on the weekly, I'm saying calls above 726.06, but on this daily time frame right here, I want you to pay attention to all these sellers sitting all the way up to 750. So you got sellers, and you got what? You got an order block right there as well. Okay? So pay attention to that. Be wary of that. Be cautious of that because this could be, the difference between you making money and losing money. Okay? So those are the indexes: SPY, IWM, and QQQ. Those are all three indexes. Now, what are we about to do next, y'all? I'm about to go over my my watch list and my setups for the week. Okay? And the first setup that I have is gonna be right here, y'all. All right, what we got? We got Core Scientific, right? Core Scientific. We got a 1 bar on a weekly on Core Scientific, so I know a big move is coming. We just got to see what direction it is, but it looks like it's going to be bullish. All right. So first up is Cores. Look at this on the weekly. Boom. All right. We got a 312. We came down bearish into this fair value gap. We bounced, right? Created a consolidated last week and created a what? A 1 bar right here. If we break above 28.59, you can enter in the calls and you can ride that thing up. But your pullback area, if you want to get an entry on a pullback, is going to be what? It's going to be right here at 26.65 to 27.17. All right, that's going to be your area on a pullback to enter into. We are on a failed 2 up on Friday, so we could come down real quick and then get ready to bounce and go up, or we could just come up here, gap up, and then go. So we have to see what price action looks like, but as long as you have your levels mapped out, then you're going to be good to go in regards to cores and these levels right here. So that's the first setup. All right, my next setup, we got right here. We got Nokia. I'm looking at Nokia. I like Nokia. I like the setup. I like the price action. I like the order flow. I like everything about it. All right, so let's look at the weekly. Look at this weekly candle right here, y'all. This ain't nothing but money to me. When I'm looking at this right here, all I do, I'm smelling the money, y'all. This is the money right here that I'm smelling, right? This is a setup for a 2-2 bullish reversal. 2 down candle, ton of buyers pushed it up, 2 up next week. That's what I'm looking at. So calls above 1504 if we go to the upside, but not a swing trade. This would be a day trade or a scalp trade, right? Because as you can see on a daily time frame, we got this area of sellers right here. Okay, so on a swing trade, we need to close on a daily above 1553. If we could close above 1553 on a daily time frame, you can enter into a swing trade, and this joker will be going up, and we will retrace back up to the 1746 area and the 1746 level. All right, so calls above 1553 on a swing trade on a daily. If you want to day trade it, calls above 1504. We got momentum, and we ride that joker up. All right, that is Nokia. So we got cores and we got Nokia. My last setup on a day that I'm gonna give you guys is gonna be what? It's gonna be right here, AbbVie, right? AbbVie. This is a medical pharmaceutical company, right? Now let's look at this right here. If we look at this right here, y'all, on a weekly, what do we have? We got another 3-1 setup, 3-1-2 setup, y'all. All right, sitting right here, we could come up about $5. This could be a nice move. Okay, bullish 3-bar right here. We already came back into the 3-bar, right? We already pulled back inside of that 3-bar right there, and it ended up bouncing and creating a what? A bullish 1-bar. This right here is a beautiful setup that I think could go crazy this week. And medical money has already been going into the medical field. And when you look at it, look at this right here, y'all. It's been holding this level beautifully, okay? When you look at the structure of this, this was last Friday, right? Not this Friday, but the last Friday. This was last week. Last week it came down here, credit that failed to up on Friday. On Monday it had a pullback, and then it started to push up the rest of the week, right? So it came all the way down to 221, and then what did it do? It came all the way up to what? 228. All right, and that's what created that bullish 1-bar right there. So if we get above 228.61, we in that thing, calls, ride it up, and you can ride it up to 230, and then 233, 234, and see if we break through this area, which is gonna be a supply zone. If we break through this area, this stock is gonna go absolutely insane. All right? So, those are my 3 setups, right? That's my outlook for the week, okay? FOMC, OPEX, 0 data expirations. Do not get cooked. Do not blow your account. Because after this week, what's going to happen? Next week, we're going to have some clearness. We're going to have some clarity. And then what's going to happen next week in July, we're going to have earnings that are going to start to report. Then we're going to be back in motion for 3rd quarter. So do not sit here and blow your account this week because you lack discipline and you are in a rush to try to make as much money as possible. All right. Slow is fast, and slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. All right. Go slower. It's going to allow you to go smoother. You're going to think clearer. And when you could go smoother, you're going to make more money. You're going to have better results. All right, y'all. So that's the game plan for this week. That's the setups for this week. Let's make sure we execute. Let's make sure we focus, and let's make sure we lock in. All right. So like I always say, y'all, get up out your head, go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live, y'all. All right? And always remember, like I always say, the more you study, the less you worry. All right? Y'all have a great day. Y'all have a great week. Let's get this money, y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all on tomorrow's video. Y'all stay smooth, man. Peace.